Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to work on a Thinking of You card using Hero Art stamps and dies. So here are the inks I'll be using from Simon Hurley: Clear Skies, Crown Me, Rosy Cheeks, and Triple Berry. I'll also be using VersaFine Onyx Black for my stamping, as well as my Versamark for embossing, and I'll be using silver embossing powder. And I have these little diamond dots in silver for embellishment. I have my blending tool, my pencil, and a jewel picker. And I have my card base, my card panel, and a couple extra pieces of cardstock for stamping and die cutting. And I'm using this Hero Art stamp set for the butterflies and this set for the sentiment Thinking of You. And I have my infinity dies from Hero Arts and this new die from Stamper's Journey. So I'm going to start out with these three inks here. Okay, so I left this in the video because, we all make mistakes, and I certainly do. I come up with ideas and I think, hey, that'd be great. In this case, not so much. So the idea here was I wanted a blended background with the three colors: the pink, the blue, and the purple. So the purple and the blue are beautiful colors and they blend very well together. Those are fine. But the pink, this was the first time I was working with Rosy Cheeks. I've had it, but I've never worked with it. And so you'll notice here, I just wasn't happy with the tone of it. I don't know. I think I needed like a brighter pink to go with this idea since the purple and the blue are so bright. But I try to, make it work here, and it doesn't, and that's okay because I fix it. And how I fix it is I just take this panel and I'll just flip it over and work on the other side. So now I know not to use the pink. So I decide to go with the purple and the blue and just do strips of it. So I'll do 2 strips of blue and 2 strips of the purple. And I ended up liking the way those two colors went together. I was happy with it at the end. So now when I go to add in the purple, you'll see there's some pretty harsh lines in between the purple and the blue. And you'll see in just a moment the way I decided to fix that was I would clean off my blending brush, and without any added color whatsoever, I just go over all those lines, and it just really smoothed them out and blended them well together. So I was happy with that. So now my panel is done and we're going to set that aside and let it dry. I'm going to clean up my space and we're going to go on to some die cutting. So I'm going to use the die from Stamper's Journey. This is new to me. I had gotten it on sale, I believe, on Spellbinders. I think that was the site. So I just die cut these out. And guys, this die was super, I guess, strong is the best way to describe it. I really had to punch these flowers out. They were stuck in there. This was a struggle for real. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe because the die is deep set. So it just really held on to everything. It cut beautifully, but I couldn't even peel off the waste. Like I had to pick it out of there. It was really stuck in there. But nonetheless, I got my flowers with a little elbow grease, and that's that. So we're done. So we're going to set those little flowers aside, and then we're going to move on to some stamping. So I'm going to start off with one butterfly. I'm going to do 2 butterflies, but I'm taking the waste paper from the die cut, and since I'm going to die cut this butterfly out, it's no big deal. I could just use the scrap. Waste not, want not. So I'm going to make 2 butterflies. One of them is going to be kind of like purple colors, and the second one's going to be more pink colors. And there's a reason for that. I can explain that little story later. But we're going to start off with the Rosy Cheeks, which is the light kind of pink. Wait, was it Rosy Cheeks or it might have been Triple Berries? Sorry. So that's stamped down beautifully. That was the first layer. So clean this off. I'm going to move on to the second layer, and I'm going to use Crown Me for this one, deeper colors. And that'll lay over real nice. These colors worked very well together. And I stamped that twice. make a good impression. And this butterfly just comes to life with the third layer. So the third layer puts the body and the antenna of the butterfly as well as trimming. So this just looks, it just pops. And I'm going to use the VersaFine Onyx Black for this. You could also heat emboss this, which I have done in a previous card, but I just wanted this to really just stand up. Look at that. That's so pretty. It looks so real. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one more, and this one's going to be more pink. And I guess I'll tell you the little history behind the purple and the pink, the reason for it. So I'm making this card for a friend. You know, she's kind of going through it right now, but who isn't, right? We're all kind of going through it right now, one way or another. So we've been friends for many, many years from back high school, early high school days. And we used to call each other, we were like two peas in a pod, but we used to call each other, we had these little nicknames of Purpley and Pinky. And it's just something, I don't know, it was silly, you know, we were young, whatever, but it's cute. And so anytime we would write each other notes or anything in school, we would sign them either Purpley or Pinky. So that's kind of the thought process here since I'm making this card for her and she's kind of feeling down and out. I just thought it'd be fun. You know, we haven't called each other that in years. So it'd be fun to kind of just be nostalgic about it and be cute and fun. And so I made one purple butterfly and one pink butterfly. So this is me and her. So here, again, it's going to come to life. You'll see this just kind of pop. Looks really cool. Look at that. Awesome. So now I'm gonna just clean up my stamp and then I will be die cutting these out. You will see me set up the die for one of them and then I'll just go and cut them off camera just to save time. You don't need to see that. So I'm just cleaning up, putting all this away and taking the die. So I'm lining that up as best as I can and I'm going to use a little bit of tape here, low tack tape. And there we go. Look how pretty. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to work on the sentiment part. Now, the sentiment, I decided I was going to stamp it, but I decided to use the die. I'm going to die cut it out. And I wanted it in the silver embossing powder. But I think it'll be a little tough to emboss it once it's cut because it's very thin. So I decided to just emboss the piece of paper, heat emboss it, and then cut it out of that. So I'm taking the scrap here, what's left over from the second butterfly that I made, because again, waste not, want not. So I just do enough that it'll cover the size of the die. And we're just going to put the heat to it and melt this down, the whole panel. Well, that half a panel. And yeah, so I thought this would be easier because it's very fine. When it cuts out, it's very fine. And to try to emboss that and hold it, and you know I don't do well with tweezers, right? So I figured I'd emboss a piece of paper and then cut it out. And that's exactly what I do. And you'll see here, run it through off camera. And voila, here we go. And this cut out beautifully. And it also gave it, you know, it thickened up the sentiment, you know, since it is so thin and fine. So I'm just punching, everything was just falling right out. I didn't even need my little poker tool until the very end. There was one little spot on the O that I couldn't get with my finger. And there we have it, thinking of you. And now we're going to go to putting this together. So I'm just going to dry fit this and kind of figure out where I want, what placement and where I want things. So I wanted these flowers in there. I thought it'd be a nice contrast, and I'm going to use the embellishments that I showed you earlier to do the center of the flowers. I think I thought that would be like a nice little touch. So I don't end up using all these flowers that I have on the panel. This is why I do a dry fit, just to get an idea of what I like and what I don't like. So I leave everything there, and then I'll just go piece by piece and just place them down and keep the ones that I do like and then take out the ones that I don't need. So we'll just glue these down. I'm using art glitter glue. And I go around the card. There we go. And I'm going to take out that one that's sitting behind the thinking of you. I kind of wanted the sentiment to be on the background flat. So I have these little foam adhesives. I got these at the dollar store. I realized I ran out of foam adhesive and I only had these little tiny squares left. And they're really, really strong, guys. I mean, for $1, it's a huge pack. You get a ton of them in there. And they are really strong. But my only complaint is that they're really high profile. I'm not used to working with foam that's this high. Like it's really high. It makes your projects sit high. So, but you know, I wanted them popped up. There was nothing else I could do. I didn't have any other foam adhesive. So I probably could have die cut a few more pieces, just plain cardstock, and piled them up behind it. But I didn't think of it at the time, so it is what it is. But I prop up this butterfly there, and it sits beautifully. It looked really nice. Just set it up right where I want it. But then with my second butterfly, I was kind of back and forth. I didn't know if I should lie it flat, because if I prop it up just as tall as the other one, I won't be able to kind of overlap them. But then I figured I can just put the foam adhesive on the one half and leave the other half so I can tuck it under the other butterfly. So that's what I did. I just put the foam adhesive on half of the butterfly, and then I put it into position where I wanted it, and that one wing will just tuck under the other one. So it'll sit just fine, just like that. So I like that. That worked out well. So now I am just trimming off. There was one flower that was hanging over the edge. I don't mind the wings hanging over. I didn't want the flowers hanging over, so I just trimmed that up. But now I'm putting some glue behind the sentiment, the thinking of you sentiment, and we're going to glue that down into place. And then the K in thinking of you, I was just tucking under the butterfly. And that is set. So now we can go on to the embellishments. I'm taking these little diamond dots, and they're really shiny and twinkly. I got these at Joann's. They were having a sale on all the Diamond Dots products, and they were like $1 a jar, maybe $1.20 a jar for the sale. So they were really cheap, and you get a ton. This will last a lifetime. So I'm just putting one stone in the center of each of the hearts. I'm sorry, the flowers. And then there's one flower tucked back there, and I just put a little stone, stuck it in there for consistency. And now we're going to take this panel and we're going to glue it down to the base. And this card is pretty much done, guys. So I hope she really loves it. It was fun making. I love all the colors, and I felt a little nostalgic with the names. But yeah, that's it. There you have it, guys. Thinking of you with the butterflies. I love all the colors. I think they went well together. And that is that. So I'll show you some pictures of the card, of course. You'll see that coming up in just a moment. I like it. It's hard to pick up the sparkle of the gems and everything, but in real life, it's really pretty. So there you have it, guys. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. And if you are, you already know. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.